Lando leaked this on his terrible pit stop. McLaren F1 boss apologizes to Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris after poor Canadian GP results. Welcome back to Formula One. Today we're going to talk all about what Lando leaked about the terrible pit stop and why McLaren F1 boss apologized. So let's get right to it. McLaren's terrible 2022 season has continued to spiral, with team boss Andreas Seidl apologizing to Australian driver Daniel Ricciardo and teammate Lando Norris for a thoroughly disappointing Canadian Grand Prix. Ricciardo, 11th, and Norris, 15th, both finished without points after a disastrous pit stop during a virtual safety car period, with commentator Ted Kravitz saying it was not a good day for McLaren. It was the second race in a row that Ricciardo finished ahead of Norris, with the Australian putting in a strong qualifying performance and starting 9th on the grid while his teammates stayed well behind in 14th. Unfortunately, both the car and the team let the two drivers down during the race, and Seidl said on the team's website it was a tough weekend. Daniel Ricciardo greets the crowd during the drivers' parade at the Canadian GP, where he beat teammate Lando Norris for the second straight race. Ricciardo finished a disappointing 11th after problems with the car and a terrible mistake that ended any chance of moving the field up. "We didn't give Lando or Daniel the package they deserve today, so we have to apologize to them," Seidl said. "We also need to use this as an opportunity to learn and come back stronger for our home race at Silverstone in 2 weeks." Daniel Ricciardo and Norris were double parked in a horror pit stop error in Montreal. The worst part of the race for McLaren was a double pit stop during the virtual safety car period, which completely backfired for both drivers. Ricciardo finished first and lost a few seconds when the pit crew didn't get the right front tire off fast enough. That meant Norris was held up by nearly 8 seconds, ending any chance the Englishman had of a point. Lando Norris finished 15th in a disappointing result for the Englishman at the Canadian GP. Ricciardo lost a crucial second to a poor pit stop by the crew, who couldn't get his right front tire off fast enough. A bad pit stop wasn't the only problem the team faced. The McLaren car struggled for pace and had some mechanical issues, with a typically diplomatic Ricciardo saying it had not been a well-polished race for the team. Daniel Ricciardo smiles during practice ahead of the Canadian GP in Montreal. "We just weren't really fast today. We were struggling with some pace, and then we had to deal with a few issues as well. So we weren't able to push and attack and got too far out of the fight for points," he said after the race. "Just not a very fast race for us. If we push 100%, we might just stay in the top 10. But once we start dealing with temperatures and things like that, it puts us out of the fight. Would have liked to have had a better race, but we just weren't fast enough." Lando Norris will try to respond at his home GP at Silverstone in 2 weeks' time. Norris was also diplomatic with his post-race responses, saying the team just needs to think and react accordingly. "We were unlucky in a lot of places today, and just didn't have the pace to race and overtake the people we wanted to race," he told the McLaren website. "I think the pace wasn't too bad, still not good enough, but not too bad. Just the fact that we couldn't overtake hurt us a lot today. We have work to do. There were mistakes on my part, mistakes on the team's part, and we just have to step back, refresh, go again, and do a much better job next time," Norris said. McLaren boss Andreas Seidl apologized to both Ricciardo and Norris for a bad GP. Seidl was a little more direct in his thoughts, saying McLaren didn't deserve any points. "A very disappointing Sunday afternoon for us here in Montreal. It was a tough weekend in general. The car lacked pace, had reliability issues, and there was an operational issue at the double shuffle pit stop during the virtual safety car period," he said. "We have to acknowledge that our competitors have done a better job." It was an entertaining race full of twists and turns, with Max Verstappen cementing his place at the top of the Drivers' Championship after beating Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz by just under a second. Sainz finished the race with the fastest lap, while Lewis Hamilton achieved a remarkable third place after struggling with severe pain at the Azerbaijan GP a week earlier. Max Verstappen celebrates winning the Canadian GP in front of Ferrari's Carlos Sainz. Red Bull told Verstappen over team radio that he rode like a champ during the win, and after the race he said it was a stunning finish. "They were fast in the race, Ferrari. In the end it was very exciting. I gave everything I had," he said. "We seem to be fast on the straights this year. The safety car means they had fresh tires, but I prefer defending to attacking." McLaren will try to respond at their home GP at Silverstone in 2 weeks' time, with Ricciardo no doubt looking to improve on his current 13th place in the Drivers' Championship. With this, we end today's video. Make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. See you next time on Formula One. Bye.